Well, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for being a little late. I know we promised to start the session at 2. It's already 2:08. 4 o'clock PST. We're already 8 minutes late. Sorry for that. But I'm sure this 8 minutes of wait time is really worth, because we're going to get a lot of good information in this session. Particularly, there are a lot of speculations that are happening in the immigration world, right? I'm sorry for the delay, but welcome you all. Before we start, so Happy New Year, everyone. So this is 2022. So the first session, the first talk show that we are doing with immigration as an immigration focused. And thank you very much, Mary, for taking time and to enlighten and educate the community on the current aspects. And I wish you a Happy New Year.
Thank you, Raj, and good to connect with you all again. There were a few emails, that was received, and messages, whether we are going to be doing, the interfiling and everything. So then I just quickly connected with Raj. I think yesterday or day before yesterday that we thought, yeah, let's do it. Somewhere or other we'll just start with it. I know it's a weekdays and how things are going to be, but looks like many of you are interested. And then definitely it'll be something to add value to whatever it is. We can quickly, I think there will be multiple questions, Raj, if at all, we can quickly move forward with the questions, or what do you say about it?
So first, I would love to start a quick agenda. So I'm really overwhelmed with the participation. So on a Monday, it's like 20 plus. So it's really great to see. And I'm seeing a lot of waiting. So waiting in the chat. Waiting. The folks are waiting in the room to get in. So, but let's get started. Before we go and take any individual questions, I would request you to start ahead with, so what is the gist of the USCIS notice, right? So let's start with that, and then we'll go back to the individuals to take the question. And probably I need Monica's help to anchor a little bit. Monica?
Yeah, Monica, you can unmute yourself, Moni.
Yeah, and channel the requirement. So guys, please post your questions in the chat box or raise your hand. So that we will go on the round robin model. So yes. So I think first we'll go with Tushar. But before we go to Tushar, so Mary, if you can just briefly summarize the note on the interfiling and how many vacancies in EB2. And how we can do that? If you can, quickly summarize, that would be good to start with, I believe.
Sure. How about the audio? I think you're all able to hear me properly, if I'm right? There's the audio quality and everything is good.
Seems good. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So just to quickly go with it, till the USCIS notice that came up 2 weeks prior, we were, there are so many opinions that has been advised onto the interfiling or the new filing of the 485. So the reason for the new filing that was advised, even AILA was advising it that it's better to go for a new filing rather than to depend on an interfiling. The reasoning behind is, as we all know by this time, I don't want to go very detailed into it. There's no receipt notice that will be received, and we don't have any record whether USCIS has considered it and what queue it has been on in a process, nothing like that. So that was one of the reasons we were asking them to go for a new filing. But after this particular USCIS notice that came on a Friday, that was surprising that they said that they are encouraging, instead of using the word interfiling, they said the transfer. So with that notice, what they mentioned was they do have a separate department that has been assigned for this purpose alone. And also, so that was very encouraging to know that interfiling is not going to be something where you will be losing the track record of it. And added to that as a final, just a quick point on this is, even though you don't have your receipt notice that will be received when you do an interfiling, the one part is, as you are supposed to add 485J, and usually 485J is issued with the receipt notice, even though there was some delay we have seen on a practical basis, but 485J comes up with the receipt notice. It might not reach the beneficiary of that or the applicant of the 485, but the employer gets a copy as well as we receive an receipt notice for the 485J filing. So with that in mind, if you're eligible for the interfiling and they have assigned a separate department where it has to be received by USCIS. So with all these criteria, then, if you're eligible, definitely we would ask you to go for an interfiling of the 485 if you qualify yourself on the EB2. Raj, you're on mute. So Tushar, probably if you want to go ahead with your question, and then I can just go in between whatever it comes up, the topics and everything. So the only reason I would prefer to have your questions is because sometimes it's taking too long to clarify how you do it and what you do it. So that way, we can get into the, which will be valuable to others as well.
Yeah. So,
yeah,
okay, so Tushar, are you going first?
Thank you for giving me the opportunity, and thanks, Raj. And yeah, this is my case. I filed in 485 concurrently in October 2020 to EB3 downgrade, and my I-140 got approved.
Okay.
So recently, EB2 priority date is current, and so I interfiled it.
Okay.
Last Friday, I interfiled it without 485J.
Okay.
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. But since USCIS is asking to file the 485J, so do I have to file it now again, or what are the steps I have to follow?
Okay, yeah. So earlier there was no instruction that has been provided when it comes to interfiling. So, but again, so now as they have mentioned, if you're, there are two different filings, right? There are two different reasoning. One is it has been filed in 2020. And the second one is the reasoning for the 485J to be included is, and the other one that you have filed it is an EB3 category with your job title, and the job offer has been used on 2020 and an EB3. So USCIS instruction makes sense that the job for the job offer, the bona fide job offer, for the EB2 is still genuine and is valid. So based on that, they want to file, include a 485J along with your interfiling request as well. So I would definitely say that talk to your attorney or the employer, but 485J needs the signature and other document that is needed for the filing. So definitely I would encourage you, even though you have filed it interfiling 2 weeks prior, it doesn't harm you because you're not going to be paying any fees or anything related to that. So go ahead and get a 485J completed by your employer and make sure that you follow the steps. And even I'm not very sure if your attorney or employer has submitted the interfiling request to the service center where the receipt was received. So in that case as well, you might want to file it in the proper service center that USCIS has given on the recent notice. So I would say just go ahead, and then definitely I would say include your medicals. The reasoning is they have stated in which I thought about talking in detail onto the statement of, they have said there is a lot more of visa numbers. We'll go ahead at the end of the conversation, the webinar, but you would definitely need to have everything in place because going forward, you're looking at it, time goes by, and then they want to complete processing of issuance of the green card by September. So you don't want to wait for them to issue an RFE and the response and everything. So go ahead, do another 485 interfiling along with the 485J, as well as include your medicals and send it to them.
Okay, so you are suggesting me to do the interfile with 485J again, even though I did interfile right 2 weeks ago.
So without an 485J.
Okay, one quick question here is, once I refile the 485J, the interfile with 485J, the 180-day reset time clock will start again, right? So the thing is, I am considering changing a job right now. Is it would be a issue since the clock resets, right, for 180 days.
No, actually, yeah, it will be a very different question that I have to talk in detail with you actually on other, criteria and everything. So I would say, for now, you're planning to do the interfiling as soon as possible with the 485J and the medicals.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Can I consider changing the job now? Is that okay? That's what my question.
That's what I said, right? I need to talk to you in detail, and probably you can get the phone number from Raj, and then, I will definitely, try to reach you. There are multiple things I am also have it pending to be completed by this week, but I'll definitely give a call. Whatever the webinars we have done it, we have responded to emails or calls whenever we get it back, from you. I will talk to you in detail on that.
Okay. So I interfiled already to Texas Service Center 2 weeks ago, as I mentioned.
Tushari, I think you have to allow others to, just do that. I know, right? See, it has been clearly given the instructions, so you have to post it to the new address.
Okay, thank you.
Right, thank you.
Thanks, Tushar. And I think there is a question from Rajendra about, seems like he was downgraded from EB3 and received a EAD. However, I don't submit my medicals with 485 applications. Can I do medicals now and send along with the interfile 485J?
Yeah, definitely. We are also even before the interfiling of instruction that has been provided even in the last year, when the final action dates were current, without even getting an RFE, we sent so many medical, which we initially we encouraged all our applicants and our clients to file it along with the medical itself, unless they went for a downgraded petition, because we was not sure about how long and everything details. But all our direct 485 applicants filed their included the medicals last year, when the final dates were current, without even getting an RFE. We sent so many. So there is some echo happening.
Yeah, seems like, sorry. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So in this case, last year when we were knowing that USCIS is trying to use as much as visas that is going to be utilized, and they were sending text and other notifications as much as possible. They were trying to say that even for your RFE notice, don't wait for it, and they were trying their best actually, which has to be appreciated. They were stating that in the note, instead of RFE, which has a 90 days of time period, they were giving it as a notice of intent to deny. The reasoning behind is as much as possible visas they want to capture, and they don't want to waste the visa numbers without waiting for the the medical. So that point of time, whatever we used interfiling and submitted the medicals, that was accepted, and directly we saw so many approval that came in. So why I'm saying this, when you're applying for an interfiling, you should go ahead and include your medicals, because it doesn't have the validity of the medical is also like a longer period of time rather than earlier time period, which we were looking at. So definitely you should be submitting your interfile along with the medical as well.
So Rajendra, you can unmute and you can ask the question. So you said, Rajendra?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Raj. No, but thank you, Mary. That helps actually. And my next question is: so you want me to wait until my EB2 dates are current to send the medicals, or I can send it now so that I can link to my original alien number?
No, actually. So what do you mean? Is it you don't have an current date with the final action date, or even at the data filing? So both are not current for you?
Both are not current for me as of now.
No, then maybe in that case, you can't even, you can't even file for your interfiling, right? The purpose of the interfiling is you have to have a final action date. That's what expected. But as USCIS is accepting even the data filing till this February, so you have to wait actually. Yeah, even before you submit the request for the interfiling. You have to wait. Either one of them has to be applicable for you to file it.
I got that. So the specified doctors are not available. Lately, their appointments are very tight. So I'm thinking whoever is available now, get my medicals done and have the file with me. And then as soon as my dates are current, maybe in 2 months or maybe in 3 months or maybe in 6 months. So since that 60-day and the 2-year to 4-year validity period on medicals, can I keep that file with me and file 485J once my dates are current?
It's sure. Okay, so quickly I'll tell you, there's no 60 days validity period now. They had been lifted. And one more thing is, you cannot do this, right? You can schedule it even for next, usually nowadays they are consistent with the issuance of the visa bulletin. So probably, why don't you do it like maybe the next month, like 25th or something, after 15th, you can schedule your medical and then have an appointment. So nothing harm in canceling it 2 days or 3 days prior to that. That way you'll be safer to keep it going and then have it ready with your appointment. And then probably, like if it gets current, immediately do that. Make sense?
Okay. Thank you, Mary. Yeah, that makes sense.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, Mary. This is Vishal. First of all, thank you to Raj and Mary for hosting this webinar. So I had a question. I'm in the same boat as Tushar, where I have my EB3 and EB2 I-140 approved, and my EB2 final action date is current. And Fragment did file my interfile request on January 7th of this year. And this is before the new notice came across, which is file with I-485J, but they did not do that for me. So last week when I checked the USCIS website, there was an update to my case. It says name was updated. So I'm not sure what that means. So could you shed some more light on that? What exactly? Because
so there is no clear guidance on name was updated. What was it happening? So what we saw it after the 2020, right? Like, with a huge filing and everything. So whenever there is a name was updated, that was done we see that on the website of USCIS, there was no clear guidance. Okay, this is all our thought process. I'm just letting you know on that. So what was happening is they would have got all the records of the fingerprinting, the clear, whatever the security check that has been done on your filing of the 485 and everything. Any progress towards your filing, right? That was immediately then that is coming up as name was updated. Other than the receipt notice that was received on your case, there can be an update on your fingerprinting clearance from the security department or 485J that has been, the 485 interfiling that has been received. So something they are working on your case. So this is all our clients, they provided, right? They are active on your case. I would say that because we saw that particularly last year prior to the approval of the 485 for these people who were in the 2021, whose final action dates were there. There were many updates on the names are updated, and then we saw that as something that was going on with the USCIS.
I see. Okay, so that means
so
that
I would definitely say that I know it's not going to be that easy for you to again immediately ask Fragment Law Firm to do update it with the 485J, but nothing. I would definitely recommend that you have to tell them. The reasoning is, as I said earlier, the job offer for the EB3 is very different from the EB2. So in that case, it makes sense that they definitely need a 485J to proceed with the EB2 filing of yours. In that case, they cannot be coming back. And in many of the times, we have noticed earlier period of time, the RFEs, most of them will be for a medical or is there a job offer that is still valid? The reasoning comes is like, it might have been 3-4 years after the 485 has been filed. And obviously they want to make sure still the employer is willing to honor that job offer that has been provided prior to 3-4 years before. So I would say, how with the visa numbers available, and you should definitely be proactive in doing whatever your filing needs to be. So definitely go ahead and file for your submit your 485J as well as your medicals if not done.
All right. Thank you so much, Mary. Appreciate your help. Yeah. That's
So,
helpful.
folks, I mean, so it's really great to see, you know, so the people joining and, you know, so, texting the questions. So, in the interest of time, right? So, you know, so sure, if you have any personal case detailed questions, you know, so just now Monica pasted the email ID, address, and the phone number. Feel free to drop an email with your case ID. I mean, particular case particulars. Definitely, Mary or Monica and her team will definitely one-on-one will respond to you. So, meantime, going to the next. So we have Amar Reddy on the line. You know, he raised a hand. So, Amar.
Yeah. Hi, Mary. I have one quick question.
Sure.
I have downgraded from EB2 to EB3, and I got my EAD and AP, and 140 approved as well. Okay. I'm not sure my 140 is in EB3 is new or amended. Okay. If I change my employer and then my PD is current in future, am I eligible for 485J?
Okay, so Amar, if I'm right, you know, we filed for your downgrade, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Okay, so
I'm
we
just asking, curious.
We filed all the I-140s, whatever has been filed is new. We never filed for an amendment except for one company. You know, for that, the reason behind is like that was there was a successor of interest. That's the only time that we filed it as an amendment. So all our I-140 that has been filed is a new actually. So you become eligible for the EB2 interfile. You know, interfiling, because if it's an amendment, it's a very different story, which we never encouraged anyone to be going for a downgraded case. So yours is a new filing, and so you're totally you know, eligible to be filed for an EB2 category on the interfiling. So as it's a new job offer, I know like there were other you know, people who are also saying with a new job offer and everything. Yeah, definitely I would ask you to wait for the 180 days before you switch your employer. You are completely, if you are dependent on this EB2 filing, interfiling alone, because it's completely considered as a new job offer. So I would definitely say that, you know, after the 485, even though you have filed your 485 and the processing date is going to go back, that's the purpose of the interfiling, right? You're going to go back and take the 485 from the date of receipt of 2020, if most of you had submitted your 485 and everything. And there is definitely, if you use that as the criteria and then, you know, you're doing it, but with a new 485J that has been requested by USCIS as well, I would say if there is a possibility, just wait for it for 180 days and then go for the new, you know, any change of employer or anything like that.
So you mean to say like file the 485J and then wait for 180 days and
180
then
days
change
and
the
then,
employer.
yeah, just, you know, right.
Oh, okay. And also, is it good to use AP and EAD rather than using the H1?
See, there is it's a little different, yeah, a topic on this, but definitely, you know, like with the visa stamping availability on the Dropbox, if you have an option, just try to get your visa stamped as long as you're going and then you are able to. But, you know, I don't be very strict to say that, you know, you can use your AP in case if you're going for 2 weeks and, you know, people are really waiting for a longer time and to come back and all these wait and then coming for an interview and all those, they are still associated with the Dropbox as well. You can use it, but only criteria if you still want to continue with your H1B is something that we want you to do is you can, if you are using your AP and if you are, for whatever reason, you want to still have your validity of the H1B, again, with the same employer, then at least travel back to Mexico or Canada and then enter back within as soon as possible. Even though you don't have a visa stamping, you can come back on your H1B as long as it's less than 30 days. It's called automatic revalidation. So I would definitely recommend you to do it. And if you want to be very conservative and you don't want to travel and come back or anything, then you have to just ask your employer to file it as an amendment of your H1B, so that you can go back to your H1B.
Okay. Thank you. I'll reach out to you if I need anything.
Sure, Amar. Good to connect with you. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you. So next, Divesh Patel.
I think
Hey, Mary.
that was the question. Yeah, right. He was asked with the earlier one, right?
Yeah, the same question, but I just, Mary, just the same question like EB2, when we have like both 140 approved. Now I moved from EB2 to EB3. Now I again interfile. The 180 days cycle re-trigger. What is the rule in general? It's every time we touch our 485, like the cycle re-triggers?
No, it's not like that, actually. See, so with the available, there is a very logical question over here, right? Okay, say how far USCIS is going to be, see, they said a lot more of available visas, right? A person, one can have at the time of adjudication of 485 application, right? Any visa numbers can have only one, right? EB2 or EB3, right? So they moved so forward with the EB3, and they didn't really count that it's going to be so much of an EB2s, which can be downgraded as well. So it's not going to be very surprising if USCIS is going to go back and all these, you are all directly eligible now under the EB2 itself. So obviously what happens to the downgrades that you all have filed and got it. So, moving forward, it's going to be definitely, that's what it's expected. It's going to be even the EB3, there is some forward movement for it, and then EB2 is going to move forward even more far, like a further progress, because they never moved visa numbers, even with the new bulletin that started in October of 2021. So with all these, with their statement and everything, so the consideration over here for you is EB3, let it be there, and then it's not like any time you're going to go back. Say there comes a situation, you file an interfiling on the EB2 now immediately, and you see that your EB3 has been moving forward. So what are you going to do? Again, you can go back and refile, interfile, saying that now I want to move forward to the EB3, which is legally possible. But that doesn't mean that you're going to again wait for the 180 days. No. So now they are asking for, technically speaking, you have the, I would say if it's something, that's what I said, I might want to talk to you on a little more on detail. What is the reasoning behind why you want to do this, take the risk of 180 days of switching between employers and everything actually going forward. So I would say at this point, to be on a very conservative side, to wait for it when you're doing an interfiling for the first time on the EB2, to wait and then take a decision.
Just a counter question on these. What could happen wrong? Because honestly, I had a job offer. I accepted it. My H1 is going to be transferred on this Monday, and last weekend we came over this news. Right?
Okay.
So
right.
if this could have happened like a week before, the situation will be totally different. So what happened if we like H1 transfer accidentally after coming up the interfiling? What is the bad case scenario? What could go wrong?
See, H1B transfer has nothing to do with the 485.
No,
right?
but we join. I mean to say,
right,
when
yes,
I joined
the
new employer.
Join, and then only after that they are going to be doing the 485J as a new employer based on the your offer that has been. I wouldn't say, right, like you always have a fight on it because you're 485. You are just still going back to the receipt notice of 2020 on the October 1. So you have a better chance of fighting with your USCIS, and worst case, you might have to take it to the court to state that, like you filed a 485, and that's what legally it means. So when the 180-day portability rule and everything comes up.
Okay, thank you. And just another question. I don't want to take everyone's time, but the last one and then next person. So if I already have a already have a EAD and advance period issued on EB3 category. and I'm already now interfiled into the EB2 category. Can I still use my advanced payroll or EAD card? Not exactly EAD card, but advanced payroll? Is it like
advanced
valid?
payroll definitely, it's still 100% valid. You don't have to worry about it. Even with the interfiling being pending, you can make use of the advanced payroll and the EAD card, whatever has been received on the EB3 as well.
Thank you.
Okay, going to the next person. Thank you. Thanks, Divesh. So next one, Ravi. I know, again, so I know I'm just going with the list, whoever raised the hands, if your question is already covered, just try to keep it simple so that we can go, we can give a chance to the next one. Ravi, please.
Yeah. Hello, Mary.
Again, if you guys can enable the video, it gives us a better feel, to see, whom we are talking. So again, it's just a personal interest. So please try to open the video so that we know whom we are talking to. Ravi, please. Ravi? Ravi, you there?
Did we lose him? Yeah.
Maybe we can go with Satish. Satish?
Hi. Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity.
One more request, my friends, because we know people, right? So please say your full name and where are you from? So that will help us to know on a few aspects. So please, Satish, where are you from?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I'm from Sacramento. Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. Actually, the question similar to Divyesh, whatever he was asking, and I was listening. So similar questions. Maybe I got almost all out of it. But the thing is, similar boat. I'm also considered moving, and I did interfile like 3 weeks back. I didn't know about this new policy. USCIS just alerted a week back. So that I'm going with the 485J, and the resets my clock again. It's all like I don't understand what's going on for that. But yeah, but with that, my quick question is like, with that, my H1B is going to go forward, and USCIS does know about this H1B as well, right? And when the 485 adjudication happens, do they see this? My H1B is already going on, and then they will cover this 485J, right? And can I get an RFE, or what does that happen? That's what my question actually.
See, I don't want you to think too much on this aspect of it. As an applicant, I understand, you're all concerned about it. Okay, like your question, if I'm, just understanding it properly, is if I am, because of the transfer, even though I don't file for an 485J from the new employer, with just the transfer, when they adjudicate the case, they are going to assume that I really don't have an offer with my employer who filed for the 485. So in that case, are they assuming that there's no bona fide offer and they're going to adjudicate? I don't think that's going to be triggering all those details of it. But as long as your employer who filed for the 485 is willing to provide or support you on the 4, see, you should have one or other of a job offer in hand. Okay. So that is where you cannot take a chance at this point of time, where I know so many employers where they are ready to offer, and say JPM Chase, JP Morgan Chase comes up and says that I'm taking you for the full time, but I'm not ready to do a 485J. I would say don't do that. Don't go for it. As long as you have an employer who is willing to support you on the 485J, and then they are doing a transfer or whatever they do on the H1Bs and everything, then it's okay for you to take a chance and do it, rather than just don't switch. You have come a long way, honestly. And so at this point of time, you're looking at, I am very, very positive with the final action dates that has been moving on to it, and the USCIS statement and everything. Definitely, you will be getting your green card, just approval of the 485, the permanent resident card, by this September of 2022. So at this point of time, you don't take a very huge risk of not going with an employer who is not going to support you. But at least as long as they say they are ready to file you for a 485J, just go ahead and do that, take a chance over that. And don't worry too much about is there a H-1B transfer that triggered and all those things. Yeah, definitely they are going to look into your file and they have a very clear data of whatever has to be there. And 485 applications are not adjudicated just on a very shallow level of any H-1Bs amendments or transfers. It's going to be, it will go in depth to the detail of the applicants and everything. So they are going to look into it actually. But as long as you have a valid offer from the new employer as well, I think it's okay for you to take the chance and do it.
Perfect.
Yeah. Thank you very much, and that appreciate your answer. Yeah, actually, my employer also very much moving forward with the 485J application for the new location, California. But I understand that you initially said you include medicals as well. That's a great idea. But I did applied medicals interfiled twice actually in September 2021. I did my downgraded approved, and I thought like interfile would help approve my 485J, but it didn't. And then I recently got a notice from USCIS Texas Service Center. You have to apply medicals so that we can speed up your process. Then I did that in December as well. But again, I need to apply medicals for this California center. That's what you recommend?
No. If you have provided the medical, just because of applying for the interfiling, no. What I meant to say was, if you have not submitted the medical at all in the earlier point of time during any time when the 485 has been filed, then you have to do it. Don't go ahead and do it. See, they have the validity of the medical as long as you have submitted within the 2 years time period of 2020. Definitely, they are not going to come back. Earlier, they used to come back with the medical RFE alone. No. We don't see an RFE that has been issued for a medical that has been submitted any point of time. So you don't have to do that.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Then that's what my question actually. So I heard you are asking with the 485J.
No. It's not like, as a
medicals.
minimum requirement, okay. I'm not specifying that. Thanks for that question, because that clarifies. Okay. I don't want people to go above and beyond to submit it when there is a medical that is pending with the earlier 485. No, that medical can be used. No.
Exactly. That's why I just got a letter saying that we speed up your process. So submit your 693 medicals with this along with the barcode receipt. I did that actually in December.
Sure. Yeah, 2020. I understand. We got it. That's fine. And also, there's a conversation over here. We do see, earlier to the Texas Service Center was backlogged too much, but still we do see now recently there are approval that is coming up with the Texas Service Center and everything. So which gives hope for all of you, I would say. Just keep, keep your hope and faith on the service centers, and things are moving on. Right.
Still, I'm waiting for a EAD, AP approach. Thank you.
Sure, yeah. I understand. Okay.
Great. Thank you for the help in community.
Definitely.
Thank you. Thanks, Satish. And Ravi, sorry we lost you, man. Are you back? Ravi?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I got distracted.
Ravi, may I know where are you from, Ravi?
I'm from Denver.
Okay, good. Ravi, yeah, please.
Yeah. Hi, Mary. You're the attorney that filed my downgrade, and I have 485. Quick question for you. Can I submit supplement J from a new employer for interfiling?
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it, Ravi.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Because all your questions, you have been having it for a while, Ravi. So I'm good, just glad you can do it, Ravi. Definitely, we should move forward. I know, I have been waiting for a while and the downgrades and all those things. Yeah, definitely we should be filing it that's possible. Even a new employer can do the interfiling.
Perfect.
Sounds good.
And
Awesome.
next we have Venkat. Sorry, Ravi. No, I'm just trying to cover the other questions too, so I'm just going to the next person. Venkat.
Hey, yeah, hi. This is Venkata Kavuri. I'm from Vernon Hills here in local Illinois. So I have this question. I had 140 with my previous employer. Now I moved from my employer to a new employer. So the new employer filed for EB3. My earlier employer had 140 on EB2. So my question is like the EB3 perm is applied. So if I need to,
Venkata, you're not very clear. It is.
I'll repeat what he just said. So Venkat's previous employer has a EB2 filing on a 140 done, and he got an employer, and the new employer filed his case in EB3. Right, Venkat?
Okay.
Yes. So the EB3 is in perm process.
Okay.
So I'm just waiting for the perm to get approved, to certified. So my question is when.
What was your priority?
My priority is June 2013. June 2013.
Okay. June 2013. Okay.
Yeah. So if I need to move from 140, can I upgrade from EB3 to EB2? Because the EB3 priority date is little bit back, retrogressed. So I just want to make sure, like, can
You're
I use
just
the
going in and out actually.
Okay.
I got your question. Okay.
Yeah.
I got your question. Okay. So your question is like, earlier employer, you had an I-140 with a priority date of June 2013. But the current employer who has filed for your perm has filed you on the EB3 category. So your question is, when I file for the I-140, can I file it as an EB2 instead of EB3, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Here it is. Okay. EB3 recommends and EB2 recommends are very different. Okay. So when it comes to EB2 to EB3, it's very easy because the recommends are higher for the EB2, and so EB3 you can always file it because you're downgrading. Okay. But then there is EB3, which is mostly of an bachelor's plus 2 years of an experience, or it might be 1 or 3 years of experience. But whereas EB2's recommends are very high. So a petition cannot be filed from EB3 to EB2 unless, like they have other options. So I would definitely, on an overall basis, it cannot be done that easy as you really related, right?
Oh, okay. So one more question on the EB3.
That makes sense for you, right? It is you understood the point.
I got. Sure. So one more question on this one. So on the EB3, right? So will the dates be moving forward, or like, can I do I need to wait till my priority date comes current?
So what's that? It's now in January 2012, right? And then you're in June 2013, actually.
Yes.
I wouldn't expect this forward movement on an EB3. Like the reasoning is, and I know like there are a lot more of EB2s that's going to be little moving forward. But when it comes, the problem is, even though as we had been, like talking about it, the reason is like, the getting the data, see, till the case has been approved, right? A person, say, for example, you have EB2 and EB3 that is already been pending. So you will be counted in both the visa numbers till the person has been approved of a permanent resident. So till the approval of a case has been approved, they don't, the other dropout will be only after the adjudication of the permanent resident card. And that's the problem, right? Until then, you can have 2 I-140s that has been pending, and you'll be counted on as you have been. There is a filing that is with the EB2 as well as EB3, actually. So USCIS will use the number only at the time the person has been approved of a visa number. So how it's going to be possible now is they know that there is a lot more of visa numbers, but there is a lot more of multiple petitions being filed under the downgrades as well as on a direct EB2 filing as well. So unless they sort it out, right, and then approve this adjudication as quick as possible, which is also going to be getting expected, so they cannot release that EB3 to move forward onto that basis of it. So that's the practical difficulties that is we are going to be seeing it here. But moving forward, hopefully they will have a system to adjudicate these. But they are working forward. They are very diligent enough to approve these cases and everything as soon as possible and adjudicate this case. I won't say approve. I won't use the word approve. The decision has to be there. So they are going to be doing it. So in that case, we can see it maybe with the second quarter at least, when they are able to quickly adjudicate the interfilings as soon as possible, as they have a separate department, which is practically says that they can do it. And then they can move forward with the EB3s.
Okay, so till that time, it's better to wait, or do I need to move back to EB2?
See, what do you have as an option, right? You don't have an option, right? You're going to wait, right? Unless your own employer is willing to file for you and then, help you out. Even then, you're not yet there, right? You don't have a data filing on the EB3. But again, if at all your old employer is willing to help you out with a bona fide offer, then you can think about it, actually.
Okay, so that will be like I need to file a 485J. That's what it is.
Yeah, definitely. You have to be filing with your old employer. You have to file the you have to get the 485J, and then you have to move forward with an EB2.
Okay, got it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, thank you.
I think Venkat, you got the answer. And next, Kiran. Kiran, I think you're also in the similar line, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's right. I have a hi, Mary. Hi, Raj.
Hi, Kiran.
So I have an approved I-140 with priority date of Jan 2014 with an earlier company. But current company is planning to file under EB3. Recently, like last 10 days back, PERM has been approved and they are planning to apply for I-140. They're planning to apply under EB3, unfortunately for me. So, and I was, I know like you responded to Venkat saying that EB3 movement would not happen in this fiscal year. But are you expecting any further movement next year? Probably hoping it would be a positive.
See, the practical, all that we got is because of the COVID, right? The 290 that was, the visas that has been. So, but again, except India, all the other consulates have started moving forward. So the family-based is getting adjudicated, but still there is a lot more of delay as well, actually, even with the Omicron and other delays that has been held, with the consulates and getting closed and everything. So hopefully as well, there is one more hope is on that, as I was keep discussing about it right now as well, like a person can have one visa number, but that case has to be adjudicated. Say, for example, the USCIS is able to adjudicate all these interfiling, and then they're just getting out of the line in a queue of whatever has been pending, not holding both the visa numbers just because they had been able to file it under the EB2 and the EB3. And so if they are able to clear it out as soon as possible, that will help with the forward momentum on both categories, and particularly the EB3s as well will definitely move forward.
And also,
sorry, I'm a little more curious, Karen. So what does, I was very, our office was very specific on to say that I know with the moment of EB3 and happening all this time, the last year. So anyone, even when the job offer as well as like on the EB2, they were, our clients as well as employer was specific to go ask us to go for an EB3. But we were a little more specific if the job has been qualified for the EB2, because I know this is going to happen. So we never encourage them to go just because of the moment that is happening onto the EB3. So is it the job offer itself is an EB3 category, or is it because of that happened with the last year, your employer was specific to go and file you under the EB3 criteria?
I was not aware until now. Like my employer is a little old school.
All right.
So they were like, they don't want to mess up with the government, so they want to meet the minimum requirements.
See,
so
the job offer is that of an EB3. I wouldn't, I would also say that of the same criteria. But if it is just because of the moment that happened, then probably I would not have done it. Yeah, sure. I got it, Karen.
I'm trying to negotiate with the manager, but that's not happening. So at least I was expecting, like, I mean, would there be a possibility that this year EAD would happen, like not the final action, but at least the filing date would become
Filing,
current
data
for
filing, that will help you. Yeah, so
Yeah.
if at all there is a good progress on the EB2s, and then definitely, see, the good part is, and usually last year is itself, the data filing was not accepted for the January bulletin itself. But with the visa numbers available, that's the reason they are extending the data filings and they are moving forward actually. So that's a very good, expectations, I would say, for any applicant to at least see that the date they accept the data filing moving forward. So that way they at least get the EAD and the advanced parole rather than waiting for years without even getting an
exactly. Yeah.
right.
So,
Yeah. I
so
do
is there
agree.
a possibility this year for EB3? Like, I mean,
I definitely that's what the discussion that's going on with other attorneys and everything. So moving forward is going to be definitely better till this, at least till this year, September 2022. You can expect at least the data filing will be opened up for the EB3s again.
Okay, awesome. And one last question. I mean, my I-140, they have to file for I-140 yet. So they're not ready to pay premium and everything. So I have to pay from my pocket. So right now the processing times are like taking more than a
Kiran,
year.
you're on
without
live.
premium.
Kiran, you're on live recording. So, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Yeah. So so basically, like I-140, they have to apply, and it's going to take 1 year probably. The processing times are taking longer than expected, right, these days, because of everything, the pandemic and everything. So is it a good idea, good recommendation from you that I have to file under premium rather than to speed up the process? Like you said, the filing action dates might get current this year. So I-140 approval
will help you in the sense. See, I wouldn't just say, okay, here it is. It's your EB3 is going to be a direct I-140. It's not a downgrade petition. So you have the availability of upgrading for a premium at any point of time. And also, if your dates are going to be moving forward, what you need is just the receipt notice for the I-140. You don't need an approval at that point of time. So paying a premium for $2,500 just because, expecting something that's going to happen, unless, you have other reasoning behind it in any way that's going to help you, I wouldn't go for a premium processing, Kiran. Okay. You're fine to go for a regular processing. And then anytime if you have a need for it to be upgraded for a premium, as premium processing, you're going to be ending up paying for it. I would just leave it as such, and then just leave it. And if needed, you can always go for it. Go and upgrade it to a premium process.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you. So, and just doing a quick time check. So we're almost at 3 o'clock. I know Mary won't even look at the time when she's talking to the individuals.
See, I agreed to you, Raj, for 30 minutes. This immigration. Yeah, that immigration makes me interested to answer and go ahead and go do it. But anyway, definitely, like Ravindra, and there's another person who had been, waiting for a while. We will definitely go ahead for their question.
Absolutely. I want to ask few points here. So whoever likes, the answers and the interactions with Mary, please do drop us a text or kind of a quick testimonial. So that would really help us to plan these kind of sessions much more in the coming days. I know, we were thinking about doing a monthly ones, but so there are ons and offs. But we would love to hear the feedback from you. That would really motivate us to get back on the track. So I request everyone, maybe a quick 1 line or 2 lines, that boost the energy. That Mary, it's almost like 5 p.m. for her, but still, see the energy. She's not even taking a coffee or water, so she's ready to answer all your questions. So please do motivate us and to help the community better. Taking the next question from Ravindra. Ravi.
Hey, hi Mary and Raj. This is Ravindra Nakka. I'm from Chicagoland. So I have 3 questions. So along with the interfiling, can we go ahead with the 485, new 485 as well?
Yeah, okay, so that's a good question. Okay, so as long as you have a data filing that's available, like along with the interfiling, is it going to be okay to go do an 485 as well? See, any number of 485s can be filed. And so the advantage on here, filing and interfiling as well as to going forward is like if you don't have your I-140 approved on the underlying EB3 and still it's pending, and then if it's approvable, if you have a question on that, right, if the I-140 is going to be approved or not, and there is a possibility of a denial if you are not with the same employer. Ravindra's case, I know because we did file for him.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm just saying it, assuming because he's not with the employer who sponsored the. He's not with the employer currently working, so there is a problem of ability to pay. In that case, it's a question that whether his I-140 will get approved. So in that case, I would say definitely go for a new 485 as well. The reasoning behind it is, so you are establishing the 485 dates on the EB2 as long as you be eligible on the data filing. So it doesn't harm to go ahead and file an interfiling, and then as well as to go ahead and do a 485.
Okay, thank you. So another question is, along with the interfile, where to send the medical section? Along with the interfile location or the 485 address?
See, yeah, that's a good question. So here is the scenario for you. When as you are going to be anyway going forward with the medicals, right? So you have to make sure, talk to your doctor, and instead of getting you one medical envelope record of it, but you're doing the same medical, only thing you're obtaining is two different envelopes of the same report. So they might not be charging you to twice the amount of fees. It's going to be just two different documents. It can be dated the same thing, but get two different envelopes so that one goes along with your 485 directly, which is going to be filed separately, and the other goes along with the interfiling action. So that way you have two records of it, and USCIS is not going to come back to ask for a medical. And you can't see, even though every adjudication, this is how it's going to happen at the final adjudication purpose of it. Yeah, how many number, like you can file 3 of them, and then so, but again, the adjudication is going to be on only one 485. So the USCIS chooses between which is going to go and help you out, or they can send a notice. I know people will keep saying, withdraw this petition, withdraw this, withdraw that. The only reasoning they say is there might be an RFE. Definitely there might be an RFE, but I wouldn't take the risk of withdrawing any of them, because you're establishing for whatever reason you're going. So now I'm talking to you because we dealt with your I-140 and I know so many details of it. I won't be able to answer this question from different perspective if it's going to be an audience who's going to be asking this question. So don't withdraw any of them unless you have a very solid reasoning behind to withdraw it. So just keep it pending. The worst case, they are going to come back and ask, and immediately addressing your RFE will help them to adjudicate which one to be taken into consideration of.
Okay. The third question is, is there any timeline for these approvals of the green cards before September? Or no, most of the cases I'm saying.
See, most of the cases where the final action dates, most of the cases are where the final action dates are, current. So you can expect it before 2022 of September, because they lose the visa numbers and they are taking proactive measures to utilize the visa numbers as much as possible. And there is a solid step that is being taken by USCIS on this. As I said, the Texas was backlogged and nothing helped, e-request or calling the congressman office, nothing helped, but they are moving forward and we see so many approval that is coming in. That's all shows that USCIS is definitely not going to be wasting the visa number that is all available for this year. So hopefully, all these pending 485s will get approved.
Okay, so you want me to say that before 2022 of September, if you get it, you get it. Otherwise, it will be, even if you're in the queue, you're not going to get it.
Because the basic numbers are wasted, right? They can't recapture it. So again, the next year is going to go depending on what are the family-based visa numbers that's going to be available for them to move forward, or else you come under the 7% category, right? So there's not going to be a much forward movement you're going to be expecting on that.
That's all I have. Thank you, Mary and
Sure.
Raj, for your.
Right.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thanks,
Ravindra.
Ravi.
And I think Kiran's questions are already answered. And we have
There's
Vijay.
one person who has been, like iPhone, it says it doesn't have a name onto it.
His name is Vijay. Vijay?
Hi, Raj. Hi, Mary. Yeah. Thank you for the session.
Where are you from,
This is Vijay Kandukuri.
Okay. Hi, Vijay. Actually, I'm one of the person who motivated is also Vijay. So we have to, good that we took his call, actually. Okay. He's our
Thank you, Mary.
client as well. Okay. All right. Yeah. Go ahead, Vijay.
I joined a little late to the session, but I've been going through your responses. So mine is a July 2013, and right now for EB2 interfiling, should I keep waiting since it is 2013 July or something that respond, because it is not, my date is not current as per the final action date, and now that with the new guidelines of a new address for interfiling request, what is USCIS thinking about sending kind of having all the interfiling requests going to a new address?
Okay,
and
you mean
medicals.
to say right? I'm trying to understand here. Okay, so you're saying even data filing is eligible, but not the final action dates are not there for you. So you're asking, is it okay for me to go ahead and do the interfiling along with my medicals rather than waiting for the final action dates to move forward? Is it right?
Yes, Mary. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. See, as long as they are accepting the data filing as well, see, the one thing is what you're doing towards, anything, honestly, I'm just encouraging each one of you. If there is even a 5% possibility of you getting the permanent resident card, just go ahead and do it. It's worth to do it. Okay. So in that case scenario, I'm saying, they are accepting the data filing, and then you're filing under the category, even though you're still not in the final action dates. The interfiling is not a major task. Okay. So it's, right, how swiftly we are working towards it and everything. So, and then, so definitely, so how you're getting into the line prior to is like, if you are going to wait for the final action dates, and so many prior people are there who use the data filing and they have submitted the documents, all that matters with USCIS is on the priority of the date that has been received. So even though there is no receipt notice that is related to the interfiling, your date stamp on the receipt will matter when they are going to adjudicate the case. So I would definitely say, go ahead and do an interfiling. Contact our office and let's go ahead and do this.
Sure, Mary. Thank you.
Makes sense, right, Vijay?
Yes, Mary. Yes. And last year, it was there was not much expectations around the retrogression that happened for EB3. There was not a communication that at the very early stages. So now, with the date movement going forward, down, how is the retrogression would be maybe in this year end?
Okay.
For EB2.
EB2, you mean to say?
Yes, Mary. Retrogression in EB2.
So, even though we are moving forward very fast, and you're saying after the September 2022, right? How far the retrogression can go back? Because USCIS will not have the visa numbers that is available after this year, right? That's what your question is, right?
Yes, Mary.
Okay, see, the retrogression is definitely going to depend on if they are able to make use of this 290 numbers and they are able to adjudicate the filings, whatever has been received, and they are not going to be taking, again, moving forward. I wouldn't, all that depends is how far they are able to adjudicate the filings. See, the last year as well, in September of 2021, if you see the records of them, there are a lot more of adjudications that happened in the last quarter, and particularly in September. So, and having an experience of working on that. So this year, I would say they will be able to make use of as much as possible the visa numbers that's available, and they have taken a step even with this second quarter itself. So with this all in consideration and moving forward positive towards that and all, so the retrogression might not be, say like if they are going to come back and say that we are going to take cases till 2018, then it makes really, like a hard time to see that, that far moment is going to be possible with the data filing and the final action date. So with this conservative movement that's happening till now, I wouldn't see that retrogression going to happen very far backward, even after 2022, but we have time to talk about it and see how the progress is going to be. So probably if you ask me in June or July, I'll be able to give you a better answer than now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So next we have three, we're going to take three questions and probably we'll cover it for the day. So
yeah, it's 5:12 actually. Okay.
Yeah. So first, I think we answered most of the questions, so it should be pretty straightforward, I believe.
Sure.
So first we'll go with Rahul. I know you texted it a while, so just want to make sure that you get this. Rahul?
Hi, this is Rahul. I'm talking from New Jersey, actually. My priority is October 2012. And what happened is I got them on USCIS. I read we have to send that to California office, but my attorney, they filed it little bit earlier and it went to I think Nebraska. So which center is really slow. So should I do anything or just wait?
Yeah, I think we addressed the same question, Rahul. I know you can as well. Anyway, it's going to be there available on the YouTube, but again, you can listen to it. But as I said, earlier it was sent to the specific service center as well. Maybe I'm assuming the 485J would not have been included. So probably it's better for your attorney to resend it again along with the 485J and send it to the service center as California's address of whatever has been specified. The reasoning is they are going to have a separate department for the interfiling purpose alone. So it's better to have your file over there. It's because what you're losing is only 2 weeks of time period, and again resending the documents.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Harish,
yeah. Hi, this is Harish. During this interfile process, as I suppose once we did interfile and for whatsoever reason, if we need to travel abroad, and during abroad, what happens during this abroad process if your GC gets approved, or if you're called for interview, how does, especially if GC gets approved and you're in abroad, how does this work in this case?
See, as long as you have a valid advance parole, I will never recommend anyone to travel out when your final action dates are current without an advance parole. Okay. If you have a valid advance parole and then, you are, say, for example, you're out of country and then your 485 says that it has been approved, right? So at the port of entry, you have to just go through a process and then, again, you definitely have to have an advance parole. Without that, you cannot come back because your non-immigrant status is completely, it's no longer valid when the 485 gets adjudicated. So it is definitely, you have to travel on advance parole, and then you can rely on a non-immigrant status, whatever you are in. So with that, you're totally fine. Even if you have to travel back, you'll be coming back on a green card. They will be stamping you at the port of entry with a stamping called 551. And then as soon as you enter back, you would have been issued, mailed a green card, or if they know that you are out of country with your exit and entry stamping and everything, it's not a big process at all. It's doable.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. So I think that was the same question from Chairant as well. So, the question is about the international travel during the approval. So I think that question is answered. And next we have Amatya and VR. I'm not sure who's VR. VR, you can unmute.
Hi. This is Matya.
Yeah, hey Amatya, how are you?
Hi Raj, good. How about you? Hi Mary. I do have one. So we have been approved EAD and advance parole, and it's on my wife. I was the dependent and my wife is the primary applicant. So she has downgraded her EB2 to EB3. Her current date is Jan 2014. And now my EB2 date is April 2013. So probably 2 months or 3 months more, my date becomes current. My date of filing is current, but my final action date is not current. So I was actually going to apply for one more 485. So can I do a 485 for both my wife and me under my EB2 and still keep the EAD and advanced payroll active?
Yeah, definitely that's doable. That's what you have to do. Actually, like any number of 485s are, allowed. So as said, what they are going to do is at the time of adjudication, because your 485 of your wife has been, they cannot even do because our priority date, final action dates are not even current. So they are not going to take the file for a while, actually. So what happens is that you're doing the right thing, to go ahead and file a 485 on your file, on your I-140. And you have to include your wife as your dependent. You'll be the primary applicant and she will be your dependent on your I-140 and you have to file for it.
Cool. So
I do not.
last.
So I do not have to withdraw. So I do not have to withdraw my 485.
No, your wife's, no, nothing is needed. Like any number of 485s can be filed and you should not be withdrawing because you never know what is going to be, because you have established a filing risk, that notice date as that of early after 2020 with your wife's 485 as well. So in case if something goes more forward, you don't have to withdraw it and there's no need for you to withdraw it. If in case they go back to your 485 and they are ready to adjudicate, the worst case is they are going to send an RFP. They are not going to deny anything just because multiple filings are there. They are just going to send an RFP. They are going to ask about which one. And in most cases I've seen, in my experience, they never even send an RFP. They adjudicate which is eligible for it. Obviously, yours is going to be the eligibility. If this is the trend that's going to move forward, and they know that your wife has been pending for a while, so they will adjudicate you as the primary and then approve that.
So, sorry. Next, going to the last one, VR.
Yeah, hi. This is Vinil. I am an existing client, Mary. This is Vinil, if you remember.
Vinil Raya, just go ahead.
Yeah. My latest upgrade, renewal EAD is going on right now. Yeah. So I'm not sure if I call sometime later, or can I ask some questions now, or no?
No, actually, Vinil Raya, in the, we address so many questions. I'm not sure whether you had been in the call earlier.
Right.
And it's 5:20 actually. So
Okay.
probably I
So
will
this
just
interfiling, just quick 2 questions. This interfiling is only for those whose EB2 is current, right? I don't think I am eligible for that.
Right. You're not yet. Even now, Monica
Yeah.
just conveyed it to me that you're not eligible with your priority date as of today. But definitely, I'm positive that it's going to be moving forward.
Okay. Second question is my EB2 still valid? How do I know?
Yeah, your EB2 is still valid. You are with the same employer, and then there's no withdrawal of an I-140, so it's completely valid. And the EB3, what we filed was a new petition on the I-140. So you
okay. Because I wasn't sure whether it was amendment suggested at that time or new.
No, it's a new.
Okay.
And if I'm right, you have your I-140 approved, right, Vinil?
Yeah, it was approved last year only. So that's why I'm not sure whether I'm on EB3 or so. If EB2 becomes current, will I get automatically, or do I have to do something?
If there's no automatic and all, you have to file for your interfiling. That's what we were talking about earlier as well. So you have to go ahead and do an interfiling on the EB2, which has been approved long back, and then we have to move forward with that.
Okay, so it's the same process again. Interfiling means whatever we went through, we have to do again.
No, that's not the case. I think, Vinil, you can go back to listen to that, a recording of it and everything. Interfiling is not the same as the new filing of the 485. So it's a very simple process, and we can guide you. Even you can talk to Monica.
Sure. Okay. And one last question is, sometime I don't remember. Last year, my 485J USCIS said it is rejected because my 140 and 485 filed at the same time. That is a valid this thing, right? We don't have to worry about that.
No, there's nothing to be concerned about it.
Okay.
So. Okay, checking, just trying to adjust the other parts too. So there are two other points now which I'm going to ask you. One of the question is like, seems like Siva's, so the employer filed wage determination in July 2021, but it's not approved yet. But his H1B max out is happening in 2022 July. If it don't get approved, what is the next course of action?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you repeat it, Raj? Actually, just a quick repeat.
I think we can take this offline. So, but so it seems like the wage determination started in July 2021 last year, but they have not. Say their H1B validity is expiring on 22. So maybe I'm not sure if he's reaching out the max out. But if it is reaching out the max out, if the perm is not approved, then what is the next course of action?
No, there's no other way unless the perm has been stuck in an audit and it has been filed prior to 365 days. So the only option is to have the I-140 approved and then file for an extension.
Oh, good. And next,
yeah, but again, because with all these COVID and other, like with the delay and everything, we did a few of them. With the perm pending, we just may ask them to convert themselves to the B2 visa with a specific reason of stating that, they couldn't travel out and other thing. At the same time, waiting for it. And then one of the consideration that was done is like, we requested USCIS to approve from the visitor visa to that of the H1B based on the delay in the perm and the I-140, and they were able to do it. But I will go ahead with the more details in specific to, like depending on what stage he's in and everything at a later call or something.
Yeah. Next one, I think we answered this already, 485J. Do we have to wait till final action date or should we go ahead and do it now? I think we answered
We can do it with the data filing itself.
Yeah, we can do, Arjun, the answer is we can do it with the data filing. So with that, right. I think maybe, we are sorry if we missed any question, but you know how to reach us. So you have Mary's email and Facebook. So please do text or email contact. So definitely we would love to get your questions answered. Again, at the end of the day, we want to provide the best information. Again, there are a lot of dynamics in the current immigration system, right? The current happenings. Definitely we'll look forward and try to help, so provide the best accurate information as much. Thank you, Mary. Thank you very much. Again,
thank you. Thank you, Raj. The same goes to you as well. Your interest to, for immigration. And I know, you are also, doing so many things, and it's just a community service that we do it. And thank you so much.
Thank you again. Thank you all.
Thank
again,
you.
All the listeners. So please do download Swara Radio. You can listen to this conversation as a radio while you are driving. You can listen this as a radio show, and we'll definitely look forward to do more content produced, so in terms of readable, writable, or viewable. So thank you, Mary. You're helping the community in a very big, proud way. So I'm hoping all the users listeners will take the advantage of it. And again, as I mentioned in a few minutes before, any information, Mary is all there for you guys to help. But just write an email, or drop us a text, what you like, what you don't like, and if you know the questions well in advance, we can better organize and put it in the the schedule definitely. So that way it is going to help us out. So your inputs will motivate us to do more shows. So request you to write us, reach out to us, provide your feedback. This is going to help us out. So please do like Mary's Facebook and YouTube channel. So we're going to be pumping, targeting to at least do a weekly video. I don't know how our bandwidth is going to be. So would like to get the best content out. And I just got a message. Maybe Mary can comment it out for the next H1B visas. The lottery dates are going to be opening from March 1st. So if you or your family or friends of anybody is looking for a kind of sponsorship, so please do reach out to Mary or us. So we'll definitely guide you through the best employer who would be able to support that. Right? Any closing words, Mary?
Sure. It's always exciting to connect with anything on immigration, Raj, and thanks for your help as well. Just getting into a call and then always you are a good, like for me to just get into the call, allow me to, just do what I have to do and over here and everything. And thank you. There were so many kind words of appreciation over here. We definitely appreciate you being part of it. And then, always, like I'm there, and whatever the best that takes for me to, talk about it, I will do it. And thank you so much. Thanks for joining. And have a very good evening. Thank you.
Today we had touched 50 plus, so hopefully, that's within a short span. So we connected again the day before yesterday, and it's a
sure.
quick
Yeah, that's true. Right. It was a very busy day, Raj. Actually, Anyway, I'm glad that this gives me the energy to move forward. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Now I can have a peaceful lunch now. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, Raj. Go ahead, please. Okay. All right.